This is a Wild Mouse, a type of roller coaster known for being really small, compact, but still offering quite a thrilling experience. But what if, instead of this being one roller coaster, we deleted it and tried to build an entire theme park in its place? Let's go. Okay, then let's just start by deleting everything, and then we also need to make the entrance path in. For some reason, it's in like the middle of the plot, so we're going to need to make quite a long path to go in, and then we can start to think about rides. Okay, so let's start thinking about a roller coaster, sort of the main roller coaster of the park. Now we need something that doesn't take up much space, but we can still sort of pack some decent elements into. So something like a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. So I'm going to use the Barguest thing, which is basically a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. And the reason I want to use this is because it's got a vertical lift hill, which is useful because we haven't got much horizontal space. So yeah, I've put this really close to the wall, which is probably a mistake because it means I have like no room for a brake run. But oh well, we'll figure it out. So let's start with a vertical lift, and then we're going to go down into a drop. So we've got this beyond vertical drop thing, so you can sort of save space but also make an interesting ride. And then honestly, I don't really know where I'm going to go from here. Should we just go out? Okay, so I've started to build this sort of turn thing. I have no clue what I'm doing. This coaster's going to be awful. But how about now we sort of start to make it into a bit of a stall, into like a dive loop thing, a bit like Mumbo Jumbo does. And sort of the idea I'm going for is a bit like Mumbo Jumbo. Obviously this thing's a bit bigger. But yeah, I'm just sort of messing about. I've had to turn off the support of this bit because it went outside the park boundary. So that's fun. We've now got a floating ride, and we have turned this into a bit of a stall, I guess. Okay, let's try and use some of the pre-made coaster elements. I think that might be a bit too big. So yeah, I can see I had to do some dodgy stuff to get this to work, so I sort of included this inline twist, and then I had to do some very illegal, very back-breaking turns to actually be able to link this up to the station with this dodgy thing. But anyway, we need more than just a coaster in this park, so let's put in our first flat ride. Now we have vertical space, so why don't we do a shot tower? So then I wanted to try and include this rapids ride or some sort of log flume, and I literally spent ages and ages building things and then trying to put it in a different place and move it around, and I just could not get it to fit however small we want the layout to be. So then I tried to do some sort of like dark ride type thing, like a classic cars type thing. I even tried a log flume here, and then I went back to the idea of this dark ride many times, and I just couldn't quite get it to fit. I don't really get why, but I just couldn't. I managed to get this, but then the entrance and exit didn't work for some reason. I don't know why, it just was not letting me make the path go over it, and the station couldn't have been big enough to fit the entrance and exit on both sides. So anyway, they scrapped the idea of the dark ride, unfortunately. But that means we just get more space to put in another. Okay, so here I have put in a top spin flat ride, because these are quite common at parks, and then I had to link up the queue line and the exit path to this, and then we also had to try and do the same thing with the coaster, but I physically could not get it to fit, so they don't need to go on that. So next, what else do we need in a theme park? We need food, so let's get a Chief Beef and something else stand, and then I also had to try and get some toilets in there. Now all of the Planet Coaster things are massive, but I didn't want to use like the tiny like make them yourselves ones, because it just would have looked bad. So yeah, here I am. I tried to make an entrance sign. It sort of worked. And then yeah, the problem I had was they needed a staff building, but they were all massive, so I just put that tiny little one in there, and they're happy now, so that's good. And yeah, you can see guests are now in the park. We've got open rides, and the last thing we needed was a couple mascots to finish it off. Why not? So finally, here is the coaster that we made earlier. Here's a full POV of it. Okay, we're approaching the top of the lift, and then here we go, beyond vertical drop. Probably the only good part of the ride. You know, build suspense, yeah, there we go. And there we go, okay. Big, weird stall, great. Down, a trim at the bottom of that, because I need to put brakes somewhere. Inline twist, back braking turns, back braking inversion, back braking brakes. There we go. How exciting. Okay, let's jump on the top spin then, and we can have a look how this is doing. Wow, great view of stuff. Down we go. Better than Top Coat. So here we have our finished park, built in the space of a Wild Mouse. We have one coaster, 2 flat rides, and lots of buildings and shops and restaurants and stuff, and it looks like people like it. Thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video and want more Planet Coaster videos, leave a like and subscribe.